Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. As today we continue ignoring Marazai while we touch all of Tarantius' stuff and take anything that's not nailed down. For such is the way of the Rogue Trader. I'm sure the place looks a mite bit different when we're not fatally poisoned. This shoots and spent materials to the corpse dump. Materials such as you. That gatekeeper lets anyone into the opera now. I mean, you're not wrong. He's certainly not stopping anyone. Not anymore. Careful! I'm carrying a sample of puppet plague. It's best if it stays in the flask. Right. Flask and you shall receive. Did another specimen escape its cage? The homunculus promised he would let me assist him in his next experiment. Oh, buddy, that's... Oh, hello there. The Flesh Gorger himself, the mighty Ulfar. Oh, and look at that. We can actually just leave.
Mistress Elliot, the ship's crew would be less alarmed if you made the slightest effort not to frighten them.
Monkey fears are not my concern, and even if I wanted to assuage them, your kind will never cease to fear those who stand above them.
Juliet, I know social awareness really isn't your strong suit, but, this might not really be the best time for that kind of talk. You really need to read the room. Anyway. The bars of the cage are sturdy enough to stop a tank, or the fury of a post-human.
Oh, to see them cut down. Buzzers alone. The paws guarding.
Well said. Singing softly under his breath, the man of enormous proportions is intently stripping raw meat from a bone with his teeth. His unwashed red hair is falling into his face. His beard is matted and blood-stained, and the aforementioned teeth look more like fangs than any human equivalent. A less knowledgeable person might not recognize this giant humanoid, but you are well aware that this is a space marine, an angel of the Emperor. His body is covered in primitive scar tattoos, the meaning of which elude you. Glory to the Emperor.
For us and the All-Father.
To your surprise, he manages to pronounce this phrase clearly and solemnly, even with a mouthful of raw meat.
What do you want?
Picking a piece of meat from between his teeth, the warrior resumes his murmured singing. The huge body with straggly, overgrown red hair perfectly suits the deep, chilling voice of this man, or of this beast in the guise of a man. Tribal scar-like tattoos cover his chest, arms, and back, and you glimpse intricate braids in his mass of unwashed hair. His body bears so many pale scars that you cannot count them all, and muscles bulge beneath his skin like boulders. He looks like a statue carved from stone. It is clear that captivity has sapped this prisoner of none of his physical power. Your assessment is confirmed when you spot the remains of a Drukhari in the pile of carrion at his feet, likely one of the homunculus's servants. The Drukhari's flesh appears to be making a fine snack for your new acquaintance. We call that Drukharion. You do not know the language of his song. The sounds seem crude and mangled, but not entirely lacking the harsh dignity of a form of Gothic, while also sounding similar to the rumble of a landslide, sharp and choppy guttural phrases tumbling forth in a harsh rhythm. Oh, yeah, let's maybe not do that. Finely tuned we are not. What's that you're singing? That sounds interesting.
It is about starlight glittering in the blood of heroes. Snow marked by the footsteps of merciless hunters. The Faisalin haze that hangs over corpses torn apart by scavengers. In a word, home.
A small, warm smile touches his lips. Wow, that's kind of beautiful in a way. I guess home always is, no matter how flawed it might be.
Of course. The All-Father granted me the honor of tasting the miot of the Skalds. I have composed 1,000 verses for my brothers. Verses of passion and pride, calls to battle. Verses that pierce the heart. And merry ones, like the laugh of a madman who lost his sanity to a winter storm.
I see. So, you're what, like some sort of space marine skald? Against the Black Priory?
I am a wolf.
At first glance, the man does not strike you as possessing great intellect. He is clearly more accustomed to mauling and killing than thinking, but you detect a certain shrewdness in his eyes. He looks you over. Right, of course you are. So tell me, how did a wolf end up all the way out here in Kamarag?
My pack answered the Inquisition's call and came to the Coronis Expanse. There was a battle, and then the young wolves yearning to be meat for their brotherlings. To a feast of bolters they went out roving. Though they were but few, one long fang with them went loping. Not to see them cut down by scythes and clean. The pups he sent scattering, and there stood alone the paths guarding. For a foe he long spied, one worthy among unworthy. The song of swords singing, they clashed with clamor and skill, until stood the old wolf upon the bones. Then, by the birds of battle, was he brought down.
Huh. Okay, I'm not going to pretend I got all that, but I think the general gist of it is that he accompanied a less experienced squad into battle, and when they were scattered by a more powerful foe, he covered their retreat, only to end up being taken down and captured in the process.
Was that clear enough? This saga sounds less interesting in prose.
The giant chuckles. If you were captured, then what became of the rest of your pack? Did they get away?
That butcher sent you to spy for him, did he? Or do they know nothing of the Emperor's angels, the space wolves of Fenris, or the great Lehman Russ in your corner of the galaxy?
With a crooked smile, he narrows his eyes at you. Oh, he thinks we're spying for Tervantius, which, you know, given the circumstances, is entirely fair. I take it you and Tervantius don't exactly see eye to eye? I do notice he's keeping you locked up in a cage.
For his own safety. When I am not busy killing inhuman spawn in the arena, the Xenos fear my will.
The giant lets out a low growl that rings with the fury of a wild beast. Yeah, that tracks. Well, look, I can sympathize. I share the same fate. I, too, was captured and brought here against my will, forced to fight for their entertainment. But much like you, I lupine for freedom.
But I sit in a cage while you roam freely around their city. They do not fear you. Maybe there is a reason for that. Maybe our fates are not the same at all.
He shrugs. Well, you know, perhaps one of us realized that it's a mite bit easier to work his way towards freedom if the Xenos don't recognize him as a threat. But you know, who's to say? Probably hard to see the bigger picture from inside that cage. Anyway, I notice your Drew carry-on there. You really that desperate for food?
A predator does not eat only when it is hungry. There are many reasons to eat.
The warrior looks at you in mild surprise. Then, understanding brings a crooked grin to his face. And yet, nonetheless, there must be some reason for this gruesome feast. For a moment, the vicious grin loses some of its sincerity, and the bloodthirsty prisoner casts an intense, scrutinizing look at your face, as if trying to read your thoughts. Interesting. An act, perhaps? So I assume as one of the Emperor's finest, you're already planning your escape?
And why do you want to know?
Grinning, the warrior runs his fingers through his dirty hair, making himself look even wilder in the process. Oh, you know, just looking to make an exit myself, but, I'll get back to you on that. Chewing, he wipes the blood from his mouth with the back of his hand. You know, I do have an appointment booked in the arena, and an open slot in my crew. I don't suppose you'd care to join?
To get what you want, you will have to convince two very headstrong individuals. Me and my captor. That claw-handed Xenos.
He speaks with weight, his eyes narrowed. Well, you know what? Perhaps I will. Right now. Hey, Turvy. Oh, glorious and brilliant master, I notice you've got a space marine in the cage over there. I don't suppose I could make use of him. Seems like kind of a waste to keep him locked up when I could be putting all that killing power to good use. No, the homunculus snaps curtly, and he returns to his work. Noticing that you are still waiting for something, he hisses irritably, still not taking his eyes off the experiment. If you wish to continue wasting my time with your pathetic pleading and whining, specimen, then you know the price. Pay up or get out. Oh, gosh darn it, and we just traded away our last part too, didn't we? Alright, well, you know what? You know what? I think I know exactly where we can go get one. Apologies, Master. I'll go find an appropriate part post-haste. Yes, yes, get out of my sight and do not disturb me again, specimen. With a weary sigh, the homunculus turns away from you, his knife-like fingers making an unnerving scraping sound. Hang tight, Marzai. I'll be with you in like another hour or two. Ulfar? Right, okay. Yeah, let's go tie a loose end and hopefully salvage a spare part or two in the process. Nope, failing that, we can always head back to the arena. Should be no shortage of parts there. My brothers and sisters, it is time for you to meet our greatest ally. Rogue trader Valen von Valantius himself is part of the Resistance. I ask you, how can we fail with someone so mighty fighting on our side? The maleficent Xenos have already tried to kill him in the arena, yet their efforts were for naught. The Emperor protects. The Commissar gives his inspirational speech while looking you right in the eye, without a shred of shame. His words draw smiles of amazement and exultation from the people around him. You have never seen any of them before. Traitor! You condemned them to death! You lied to us! And now I have come to exact retribution! The Commissar's smile becomes unpleasant. Sister Argenta, what are these accusations I'm hearing? Could it be that the horrors of combat have rattled you so? Have you been blinded by the ensuing madness? He adds a well-measured dash of pointed suspicion to his voice. Or has our cunning enemy poisoned your mind with some wicked influence? Easy, Argenta. Let's not jump the gun just yet. I would have words with this one first. As you will, Argenta sighs grimly. She glares at the Commissar and says with conviction, We are not finished here, Iako Sotny. This is not a pardon. Merely a sentence delayed. I mean, she's not wrong. So, Iako, you seem to be taking my return in stride. You're not worried I'll let these poor people know what you have in store for them? The Commissar answers with a smug, confident smile. Care to find out? Let's see who they believe. Their brother-in-arms who promises them an expeditious escape, or the high-born loudmouth without a concrete plan. You think so? I see you've got Sergeant Vigastus over there. You don't think he'll back me up? Tell me, do you honestly think that the incoherent blubbering of a cripple who just got rescued from Drukhari imprisonment will convince anyone in here? Those monsters tortured the poor lad. He's been through so much. No wonder he's lost his marbles and sees traitors everywhere. Vigastus is no fool. He knows I always come out on top. Now you know it, too. Isn't that great? The Commissar grins and winks at Vigastus, who merely continues to glare at him. Charming. And Mel? I notice you kept him alive. I'm certainly not complaining, but is there any particular reason? Ah, the Viper is surprisingly hard to kill. He's chock full of life support augmetics. I figured a new pet would be a nice bonus to claiming victory and having the den back. Besides, new recruits need a target to practice their aim on, right? Malice looks horribly maimed. One of his arms has almost been ripped off and now is hanging by sinew alone. His acidic voice, however, is the same as before, and so is the bloodthirsty gleam in his eyes. Just their aim? What about their close combat skills? Let me out. Make me suffer. Pit me against 3 of yours, 5 of yours, unarmed. Good entertainment for your people, is it not? Ah, Mal. Good to see you've still got that fighting spirit. Sorry about shooting you so much. I mean, not super sorry, but moderately sorry. You know, I'm the one who actually took him down. If anyone deserves to have him as a trophy, it's me. Hey now, why don't we take turns torturing him instead? I'm not greedy. The Emperor doesn't like people who are. Well gosh, it's funny you should bring that up, because you know what else the Emperor doesn't like? People who try to kill his chosen. The Commissar makes a placating gesture and lowers his voice. Yeah, you got me. I'm a traitorous maggot. Just keep it down, will you? Just tell me why. Why do this to your own kind? Are you being forced? Did the Drukhari make you do this? The Commissar shrugs. Nah, just trying to be useful. The witch cult of the Fatal Thirst enjoys this little show I put on. Killings don't amuse them all that much. They want something more flavorful. Those people think they're just a step away from salvation, and then they realize where they are. The combination of despair, pain of betrayal, horror, broken hopes. It adds spice to their death agonies. So I provide that spice to the witches, and they give me equipment, food, and protection. I guess that means my work is appreciated. Yeah, I'm probably going to kill you. You get all that just for feeding people to the arena? Sure. Arenas are the wellspring of life in this heinous place. The Drukhari are forced to feed on psychic energy, born of pain and fear, or else they wither and degrade. That's why they go to these gladiatorial arenas. They're like feasts where Drukhari stuff themselves with people suffering, and witch cults are the rulers of those bloody carousels. The chasm is the turf of the cult of the Fatal Thirst, which is led by 3 succubi, Tazara, Kikaros, and Sinisthoria. Kikaros is typically the one in charge of the arena fights, while Tazara goes on raids to harvest new fighters. But it's no secret that Sinisthoria is the most fearsome and powerful of the 3. She's the one who forged the alliance between the cult and the Reaving Tempest. Though, for some reason, she's been avoiding the spotlight lately. I've got to say, you seem remarkably intact for someone who brokered a deal with the Drukhari. How'd you manage that? Happened to find myself in the arena, and I did whatever I could to survive, which entertained the audience quite a bit. One of the witches, Tazara, took notice of me. She found me and said that I could serve them with either my brains and charisma, or my blood and guts. Except, Tazara seems to have forgotten all about me. Would Malice have dared to make a move if she hadn't? She must have grown bored. Sooner or later, they become bored of everything. But I'm trying my best to win back her favor. I already have a few ideas for new little stage plays. Yeah, well, good luck with that. Last I checked, she was a mite bit too dead to come out to play. Damn it. I'll miss her patronage. Though the same can't be said of her high-handed manner and her habit of using sharp objects to bring fun to any conversation. Well, I'll just have to win over a new patroness. The Commissar smiles nonchalantly. Yeah, well, good luck with that, too. Yako, just out of curiosity, are you an actual Commissar? He laughs, looking pleased. Of course not. I can tell you from experience that they beat all the brains and imagination out of Commissars during training. I was a nobody from a penal legion of the Astra Militarum. But I did beat a Commissar to death with a spade and take his uniform. Does that make me something of a Commissar in your eyes? He chuckles in amusement. And Malice, what was your relationship with him? You weren't, like, secretly partners or something, right? Nah. He robbed me of what was mine. When that scaled freak realized I'd been left without a patron, he brought his gang to my den, this den, and took it away, and my arena portal with it. Then he went on grazing on my pastures, snatching new arrivals who were supposed to be mine. Right. So here's the big question, Yako, and I would suggest choosing your words carefully. What exactly do you plan to do now? I'll keep supplying meat for the arena. Without Malice around, all human captives will be mine to collect. And I'll have plenty of material to delight our gracious hosts with. Sure, so just back to business as usual. Not a bad idea, except, the last guy you tried that on was me. And yet, here I stand. Is that a problem? You're not gonna, kill me, are you? That would be most unwise. Malice used to be the one who could get you things to survive, and now I've taken over. If you kill me, who will supply you with good weapons, stimulants, armor? Oh, buddy, that is not nearly the bargaining point you seem to think it is. I have moved beyond needing your lowly scraps. Okay, look, how about a deal? You take part in my show, and I give you access to the stores of the Resistance. You just keep your mouth shut and your finger off the trigger. Yeah, I don't really see that happening. I'm not above the occasional illicit deal, but you got a lot of people killed, and based on our conversation here, you don't plan on stopping anytime soon. If ever there was a face in need of shooting, I think I'm looking right at it. Listen up, people. This man is not what he claims. He's a puppet for the Drukhari. The only thing he plans to help you escape is this mortal coil. As food for the Xenos. The Commissar smirks. Oh, you really shouldn't have. I could shout things too, you see. I wonder who they'll listen to. My brothers and sisters in arms, we've been betrayed! To battle! Let us spill the blood of he who obeys the unhallowed whims of the Xenos! For the Emperor!
Your arrogance will be your downfall.
I'll turn you into corpse starch.
Well, shoot. I tried. Hey, Vig. What's up, bud? At least it's not everyone turning against us. Also, some random shriekers still just hanging about. I do like that some folks just aren't invested enough in either side to get involved. But still, man, you would have thought that the word of a rogue trader would hold more weight than that of a commissar, real or otherwise. But then again, I suppose given circumstances, both our titles are essentially self-proclaimed. That's fine. I'm sure the Emperor will set him straight. Starting, I think, with Iako, since he has made the same classic mistake as Malice. In his eagerness to set himself above all of the rest, he has instead isolated himself. We'll get him locked down, then just hold the bridge. Alright, let's do this. Seven stacks, not bad. Set zones.
The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all.
Pask just needs to keep Sotny busy whilst we whittle him down and weed out his more dangerous followers.
The scriptural prognosis is favorable. Running binaric override.
Hold. Nice, nice.
Follow my lead.
Oh, interesting. Huh. Okay, well, yeah, that's a slight issue, but not a huge one. Though Val did kick one in the ankle in passing. Alright, fair enough. You get to die with company. Let's go ahead and toss a trap. Abby's slightly left, so we'll cover right. Now, whittle down Iako. Nice. Hey, bonus. Also, glad to see that Cass is apparently still with us in spirit. Alright, so what else we got out here? I see a rogue medic, I see miscellaneous thugs, a couple of Imperial guards. Nothing all that serious, I think, but we'll prioritize the medic.
Let's make it quick. Follow my lead. Die! Break their morale!
Argenta. Thin him out.
God Emperor, move through me. Be the fire in my heart.
Ow. Gotta watch that kickback.
Doubt is for the weak.
Hey, you survived. Good for you. You bought yourself a one-round reprieve. Let's finish off Iako. Sorry, Sotney.
Who, if not me?
The buck stops here.
Best defense is a good offense.
Slightly less effective than I hoped it would be, but that's fine. Huh.
High momentum.
Dodge this. Timely. Well done, Retcon. And down goes Iako. Hopefully we can harvest something nice from yon Commissar. I mean, we could probably get something from Mal, too, but I kind of don't want to kill him. Though, you know, then again, I suppose based on the description they gave when we got a gander in that cage, he might be in a position to lend us a hand.
On it.
We'll see how he's feeling once the scales are balanced.
Victory is imminent.
Man, I do miss having Cass around to force pull everyone into Abbey.
Indeed. At your beck and call.
Quick, quick!
Don't touch me. Onwards.
Hold on.
I didn't flinch.
All right. Let's drop the scrubs.
Request approved.
My faith strengthens me. For the glory of the Imperium!
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that. See how far that gets you. Argenta? Thank you.
Eradicated.
Sorry, guys. It was bolt or be bolted, and you chose poorly.
I refuse.
What's going on here? Well, why are you not...
I'll see to it personally.
Oh, right, because I still have to... Darn it. Right, I'm so unaccustomed to actually whipping out that sidearm that, shoot. Sorry, Abby. He's fine.
I'll make it happen. Consider this a taste of what's to come.
Nah, we're good. Just mopping up the dregs. I do notice Abby's damage is a bit lower than I'd like. Might be time to start shopping for a new primary.
I must not falter.
Just a minor setback.
I like that hammer for the extra knockback damage, but we also haven't really used it to knock anyone back for quite some time. I suppose I could take that new melee expert feat, though. I did notice that last time we were doing our level ups. Lets you shove attack for 1 AP. It does sound fun. I'm just, you know, not sure it's worth the investment. Melee expert kind of comes across as being more of a stepping stone for dual weapon mastery.
If it serves your cause. I hear you moving. No more.
Follow my lead.
And we're good. What's this? Wait, so the commissar was a traitor, seeing as the rogue trader deposed him? So who's in charge now? The rogue trader is, you idiot. Kneel, all of you. Hail his lordship, Von Valancius. Well, look at that. Turns out we didn't have to wipe them all out after all. That does make me feel marginally better. Oh, cool. We can also talk to our allies here. And apparently we took the commissar alive, which was not my intention, but I guess we'll deal with that later. Efficient armored body glove, nothing all that notable. Oh, is this all the commissar's gear? Well, maybe not all of it. I feel like if he'd had this on, he would have definitely used it. Commissar flak breastplate. Couple of int-based bonuses, that's not awful. Though it does, at a glance, appear to be slightly inferior to our current body glove. Hard to compare the one-to-one, though. The body glove has the edge on defense, but the breastplate on offense. I'll have to mull on that. Honestly, might just come down to which one looks more stylish. Battle plan. When the wearer uses Press the Advantage, they and their allies increase resolve by 2 for 2 rounds. Yeah, I don't think we have that one. Luck Thickener. Each time the wearer uses a minor psychic power, all allies gain +1 thick luck. Inappropriate? Which looks to be a basic reroll of an attack, dodge, or parry. Seal of the Purifier. When damaging 2 or more targets with an area attack, the wielder gains plus momentum. Warp Reflex Ring. After triggering a psychic phenomenon, the wearer immediately restores wounds and gains MP. After triggering Perils of the Warp, the wearer gains 1 AP. Meh. I feel like there's better items for Psychers. Commissar's Cap. Grants +10 Fellowship. Also, Fellowship bonus to critical hit chance for the wearer and their allies. That's actually not bad at all. I mean, not for our current crew, but maybe for Cass? Or perhaps Jai? Honor Insignia. If only one of the wearer's combat tactics areas is active in combat, the wearer gains +20 intelligence and fellowship. Though, I mean, I don't really see a lot of cases where we only keep one zone active. Especially not with multiple grand strats in the mix. And how about over here? Oh my goodness. Alright, let's see what we've got. A Stardust Chainsword. Well gosh, what a coincidence we should stumble upon that just as we're looking to recruit our first Space Marine. Combat Shoddy, nothing special. Might have come in handy had we found it earlier. Serrated Glimmer Steel Blade. Decent bleed damage. Unfortunately, it's a knife, so not super useful for kibs. Headhunter Light Carapace. Honestly, pretty mediocre for this stage of the game. Worse in every way than the Commissar's Breastplate. Though this... Ranger armor. We so rarely find armor that's Yearly compatible. Though the downside here is that its special ability is essentially useless against Drukhari. Which, you know, given where we are, is a bit of a sticky wicket. Sharpshooter boots. Wearer's single-shot range attacks from cover gain plus armor pen. I'd rather have the dodge boots on Val, but that might be good for Yurliet. Sword Dancer Cloak. Dodging a melee attack grants plus 9% crit hit until the end of the wearer's next turn. Not great, not terrible. I do feel like the only character we have who'd get much use out of it is Kibbles, and she's just got better options. Alright, well, wow. Lots of stuff for me to go through. Might be a couple of items in there worth swapping in. Also looks like we got ourselves a proper base of operation. A chance to catch our breath, chat up our companions and a few NPCs, and I imagine decide the fate of our two untrustworthy former allies. Current thoughts are to punish the Commissar, but go easy on Mal. That said, we are currently pushing the hour mark, so this feels like a good place to call it. I will say, I really kind of figured we'd pull a body part from this, but apparently not. So I guess we'll have to look elsewhere if we want to find some way to help Ulfar pack up and ship out. Though again, as aforementioned, we've still got the arena ahead of us as well. So if not here, then I'm sure we'll find something there. We'll hit the pause button for now. I'll take stock of our new gear, and we will pick up here next time as we figure out our next move. Though I do foresee a somewhat awkward conversation with Yerliet on the horizon. But I'll just let future Rhett worry about that. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
For us and the All-Father.